The guy who failed every single test in Demon Slayer's Academy is now standing in front of the sync machine. This sync machine measures how well a person's body can connect with a demon core, the energy source humans use for their transplanted armor. The higher your sync rate, the more demon power you can control. The top cadet of the class Situ just scored 39%, the highest in the entire group, and everyone calls her a prodigy, but nobody expects much from Aang. Yet the moment the test starts, the numbers shoot up like crazy. 20%, 40%, then more and more, until finally it reaches 80%. The instructors freak out thinking the machine's broken, but it's not. Our dude's the real deal, because what no one here knows is that this loser used to be humanity's strongest warrior. 60 years ago, he led an army of heroes against the demons that nearly destroyed the world. He fought the Crimson Demon King himself, and died taking his last breath in that final battle. But instead of dying for good, he woke up in a weak body decades in the future. With his consciousness fading away, he suddenly awakens in the body of a warrior. As he looks around, he realizes he is in some kind of boot camp trapped in another body. He feels he might be dreaming. Examining his hands and seeing that it feels too real to be a dream, he touches his face and realizes that it's a different face, not his cool, unbeatable, charismatic yet handsome face, and not his strong metal body. He has a meltdown right on the spot, asking who and where he is. Apparently he's in what appears to be a boot camp in the Helios region. The commander addresses them, making sure they understand what it means to participate in the soldier evaluation. The commander keeps on talking about how they wouldn't be here if it weren't for the soldiers who died in the war, and yells at the cadets asking if they truly know what it means to be a soldier. They all confirm. The protagonist, on the other hand, does not. He murmurs to himself about how the information is not correct, but the commander hears him and approaches. He questions him, asking if he doesn't understand the symbol that soldiers represent. The commander asks for his name, but the protagonist doesn't know what to answer, as he can't declare himself as the legendary hero Aang. Surprisingly, even in a reincarnated body, his name is still Aang, and this only pisses the commander off even more, as he sees it as a disgrace to the righteous name. He calls him a stupid fool who has yet to achieve the foundation of a soldier's self-cultivation, then slams his face on the ground. The protagonist is totally disappointed that his body can't even react to a blow of such a low level and still shares the same name as him. The commander, while walking away, tells him in a threatening tone that he'll be paying extra close attention to him, then goes back to addressing the whole crowd. He tells everyone to move to the evaluation field, as next up is the physical evaluation. One of the soldiers helps Aang up and asks if he's okay. He introduces himself as Lancino, and notes how our boy has a name to feel pride about. Just as he's saying this, a white-haired girl in front interrupts, mocking A for sharing the same name with the legendary hero. One thing for sure, she got a strong hate boner for our boy and his name. Her name is Situlo, by the way, and she walks away calling him childish, which pisses our boy off badly. He complains to Lan that the girl has a cocky attitude. Hearing this, his freshly made friend is honestly surprised he doesn't know her. He identifies her as the most anticipated evaluation soldier of their batch, a young lady with the nickname Cold-Blooded Demon, and the daughter of the most esteemed martial family of the Helios region, the Situ noble family. Aang finds the name Situ very familiar, and tries to recall where he has heard it before. His new friend picks him up from the floor, and some girl takes a picture of them from behind, calling it a truly enchanting bromance. They turn toward her, and she tells them they can ignore her and continue. While the protagonist tries to keep a serious face to ask her who she is, Lan asks if she just took a picture of them, which Agnes isn't the main point right now. She introduces herself as Suju Yu Hoi and says it's nice to meet them. Apparently, she saw the boys' interaction as some weird bromance scene, which for some reason caught her attention. Aang finds it unfortunate that she is not the sharpest tool in the shed. At the fitness test venue, Aang gets fired up, reminding himself that despite having a body that is weak, he is still ultimately the strongest warrior. He intends to stun everybody by obtaining monstrous grades. The test begins with the long-distance endurance round. Aang sets off quickly, aiming to secure the top rank, and sets a new record while he is at it. In the end, he does break a record, but for the longest time taken in a long-distance endurance test, ultimately coming last and getting laughed at by everyone. The second fitness test is the explosive arm strength test, where A also comes last and even sprains his wrist. He does horribly again in the third test, the explosive leg strength test, ending up last once more. Lu mocks him for having the worst results in the Academy's history. Lan tries to cheer him up, while Su is disappointed that this might be the last time she can take pictures of both of them together. Meanwhile, Gyoteng and the officiator discuss his performance. He tells the captain that Aang's results are so poor that he should be eliminated immediately, as there is no need to proceed to the second round of assessments. The captain agrees there might not be much hope for him, but he still has the right to participate in the second round of tests, which might even be his last chance. He orders for the second round to begin immediately. For this test, they gather inside a building and are assessed on their synchronization with their special equipment. For Aang, this is his chance to shine. He remembers keeping an average sync rate over 96% in the past. Even though he is not in the best shape now, he knows it comes down to determination, and he is ready to prove the doubters wrong. Checking out the grafting gear, which looks like it is from 60 years in the future, and is super light, he feels pumped. Lu, who trains with a martial arts family, gets a sync rate of 39%, the highest of anyone there. This makes her the center of attention, and someone even wants to date her because she is so impressive. When she finds out her score in the lounge, she is over the moon even though she tries to keep her cool. Hung is amazed upon seeing this girl doing 39% on her first try. His new friend talks about how Liu seems to have a fiery strength hidden in her, and A can feel it too. Lin then suddenly notes that his friend does not look worried about the test, and our boy confirms that he isn't. After all, he is used to this kind of thing. Then the test continues. For many newbies, it is their first time using the grafting equipment, and it clearly hurts. The demon core hits them hard, putting a lot of strain on their bodies from the start. A few cannot take the pain and quit. To pass, warriors need at least a 10% sync rate. Lan manages 24%, which is a pleasant surprise. Suju gets 30% and passes as well. Zhang mentions that this round shows some really promising new talent. His colleague points out that including Suyu, there are 6 warriors who stand out in their group. Jiang agrees there are good prospects, but also some who clearly are not cut out for this. Then it is our boy's turn, and people start making fun of him, guessing his sync rate will be low because of his earlier poor performance. Ung is sure that they are going to eat their words. He is determined to show them up and hopes they are ready for a huge surprise. Bro's face is enough to tell you about his confidence. Picks the red core because it boosts physical strength, and he knows there are 6 different demon cores from the battlefield. The common ones are red, yellow, green, and blue. He figures that getting a high sync rate is all about having strong willpower. The more willpower you have, the more power you can pull from the core and control it. When asked if he is ready, he says yes. Once they start, everyone in the lounge feels a strong reaction, especially Liu, who is surprised it is coming from Aang. My guy, on the other hand, is determined to show them the power of a top warrior. By now, Lan has started to suspect that our boy is hiding his true strength. Everyone is amazed when his sync rate hits 40%. Ung feels sure he can push it to 96%, so he increases his effort. The warriors watch as his rate climbs to 60%. Yutang cannot believe it and wonders if the equipment is broken. A girl reports that it is still rising now at 80%. Some start to think Aang is cheating or that the gear is faulty, but we all know that our boy just wants to prove he is the best and show them a real difference in power. Then he feels a strange shift and becomes extremely tired. He says he cannot go on. Someone asks if he is joking, and it turns out the equipment has glitched. In the end, his sync rate is only 10%. The assistant explains to Gitang that the core has broken and is probably faulty, which caused the strange readings. But of course the commander is not sure if it is just a mere glitch. Aang still passes with 10%, though others think the core is bad. After all, there is no way in hell that such a weak body could achieve such a high rate. Meanwhile, our boy's friend rushes to check on him, while Lu feels jealous, thinks someone is stealing her spotlight, and is not happy about it. Lan rescues our boy out of the test room, while our poor fella is just feeling grateful that he at least passed with this pathetic score. Suju, meanwhile, is out here busy taking pictures of Lan rescuing his friend. Later, as Ung sits back, he ponders the strange loss of strength, as if something had drained it away in an instant, something he has never felt before. Despite his willpower getting him to 80%, a low-quality core should not have broken like that. Jotang comes by to congratulate them for reaching the final test, which will be a real fight against demons. He hopes they will all make it through safely. Then, they are told to head to the next test site. Hung, feeling sick, walks off with a bad feeling, talking about the possibility of dying. As he leaves, the commander still hasn't gotten over the fact that A's Crimson Core got shattered, which makes him intrigued about his potential. He is eager to see how this mysterious newbie will handle the next challenge in the hunt beyond the wall in the thick fog. At the third assessment area, the cadets gather in front of the gate, which is about to open. Aang thinks about how it is his first time stepping outside, and also about how people have lived in separate communities for years. Beyond the wall, thick thick fog always covers the area, so they are told not to waste time, move quietly, and double-check their gear before talking, or they might get killed. This begs the question if the new core he received is good enough. Though he does not think the core is the problem, his strength suddenly disappears, as if something inside him rejected it. He wonders if this is a side effect of time travel. As he moves forward, he senses some demons nearby. Shockwaves come from him and reach a nearby cave, where a demon is sitting. The demon, sensing a stronger presence, is startled, but thinks these might be the demons he felt, as something inside him starts to resonate for no clear reason. Just as he is thinking about this, Loa pushes him to move forward. He apologizes for the delay, and Lan comes over to ask if there is an issue. Ung starts to respond, but before he can finish, the three of them are commanded to form a team. Since everyone else is ready, there is no need to wait, and they should catch up with the group ahead. Suju wonders if teaming up with them was part of our boy's plan, but we all know that Ong never thought about it. Meanwhile, Liu was intentionally worried earlier that no one would team up with her. Looks like even she knows how arrogant she can be. Before heading further, Suju takes a photo of the group, a proof that solidifies their team. The dispelling stele is a black structure made from tough minerals. One of its minerals can clear the fog within a certain range. The examiner explains they will take the test as a team of 4. He assumes they all know the test as a fog hunt. Each team member gets a combat knife and a small fog-clearing device made from the same material as the stele. Their mission is simple. The fog hunt is the last challenge every new recruit faces in the fog-covered world. A warrior must watch out for dangers hidden in the fog. Being a warrior is more than just being strong. It means facing fears and the unknown together as a team. They have to awaken their inner hunter, defeat the appearing demons, and only then earn the title of warrior. The first team's test ends, and the second team gets ready. Tata Yoshio, the leader of the 3rd Squadron, watches the contestant from the gate. She is accompanied by her fellow Joel, and Commander Ji Yawang is there too. The woman notices several promising new talents, but is especially focused on Lu. She wants to know what her fellow seniors think about these newcomers. Joel is interested in Lu too. Coming from a martial family with good training, she could become a great warrior. On the other hand, Gyutang seems to be fixated on A. He knows by fact that there was nothing wrong with A's core, so he is still curious about what really happened during the earlier event. The woman then snaps him out of his thoughts, calls him Tang Tang, and asks what he is thinking. Of course, our brute commander wants her not to use such an embarrassing nickname. Joel meanwhile notices that only this woman can make our hardcore commander with that embarrassing nickname. She then asks if they have checked the demon levels, stressing that only non-finned demons should be in the exam area. Gyotong reassures her not to worry. They have been monitoring the area for days to make sure the exam is safe, confirming no finned demons are near Hylo's town. Joel also adds that even if a finned demon shows up, they will step in to protect the future warriors. The next group's test finishes, and it is time for the 10th group. Liu, who is in this group with Ong, gets ready to start. As our boy picks up the small container, Liu grabs it from him and makes a run for it, excited to show off her skills. Ung wonders why someone would be so eager to impress, and everyone quickly follows Liu, jumping to put the container in its spot. Tata Yoshio can tell that Liu's recovery core is impressive, pointing out that her dexterity matches the blue agility cores, which shows her martial family background. Soon, demons start attacking. Ung suggests his group to fight the demons, and Lan jumps into action, throwing a powerful punch. Jiang is impressed by Lan's prowess, who is doing a great job and has already mastered his core strength. Well, Aang draws his knife and tells everyone to focus on one demon each. They all agree and jump into battle. Suju slashes at one demon several times, finally killing it. Lan also takes down a demon with a single punch, and Commander Joel points out that Suju and that brute guy are working perfectly together, with Suju showing impressive moves and making the most of the agility cores. Jiang reminds them not to rely too much on anybody. Liu stabs a demon, making it explode. Now it is Aang's turn to show his skills. He focuses on 3 key spots: the throat, chest, and abdomen. He targets these areas while thinking about his current body's limits and how much damage he can do quickly. He gets ready to test his abilities under the exam conditions and rushes forward to keep attacking the demon. He sees the demon throw a punch and quickly dodges to the side, then stabs his knife under its shoulder. He is annoyed at how slow his reactions feel. When the demon tries to kick him, he dodges again and stabs it once more, still feeling that his movements are not smooth. He gets in a few hits, but they are weak. Seeing this, his teammates begin suspecting that he is just messing around with his targets. Meanwhile, Suju takes some pictures, hoping to catch everything on camera. Liu stays silent, but thinks Aang is purposely showing off. Tata Yoshio takes note of our boy's fighting style and asks who he is. Impressed by how well he keeps up the pressure, Joel also commends our boy, saying that he moves like someone with a lot of experience. After fighting for a while, A realizes he cannot use his old abilities and is already feeling worn out. It is a bad situation, so he decides to finish the demon right away. Just as he rushes in, something else suddenly appears and takes out the demon first. Suju wonders about the strange roots that show up during the fight. Then out of nowhere, a one-finned demon appears. Sensing real danger, Gyatang tells everyone to fall back, and they do so quickly. The other two seniors also step up to fight the one-finned demon. Tatayoshi tells the hunters not to panic and to stay with our commander, who promises to protect them until they reach the town. The one-finned demon can sense that one of the humans feels like a demon. Ung and his three friends are stuck. Confused by what it means, Liu worries that the earlier demons are nothing compared to the one-finned demon, who imposes such a damning threat that they'll be killed for even a single mistake. Aang realizes that in his current body, he cannot handle a one-finned demon. Terror sets in when he thinks about fighting such a powerful enemy as a normal warrior. The demon easily disables all four of them and starts hauling them away. Tata Yoshio and her fellow chase after it, but the demon dives underground with the four, and Joel yells for everyone to follow. After a while, the trail ends suddenly. Tata Yoshio wonders how a one-finned demon could show up so unexpectedly, especially since Gitong had checked this area for days and never missed anything before. This has never happened until now. Jiang arrives demanding to know where the four warriors went and why everyone stopped tracking the demon. Joel suggests he relaxes because the enemy vanished. The lady points out that the one-finned demon likely went deeper underground and they should not rush in since nobody has explored that area yet. Remembering how he lost his brother, Gitang slams his fist into the ground, blaming himself for putting the four in danger. Joel, meanwhile, suggests going back to town, guessing it is probably in chaos by now. He wants to send out search teams to make sure there are no more one-finned demons roaming around. The lady also agrees to not stress this unprecedented situation, especially since no one saw this coming. She wants Jiang to stay calm, even though she knows it is difficult for him. Gyotang stands up and says he will keep looking for the four warriors alone, telling them not to worry. Joel starts to object, but the lady cuts in, telling the commander to return before sunset. The commander agrees, then heads off into the fog. She is sure as hell that there is no changing his mind. Joel recalls how once demons took the commander's younger brother years ago, and he still blames himself. Tata Yoshio notes that if Gyotang's brother were alive now, he would be about the same age as the four captured kids. Meanwhile, inside a cave, A and the others are tied up. Our boy wakes up confused about where they are, but relieved everyone is still breathing. The demon appears from behind and notices that A is the first to wake. He can tell that this boy seems different from the others. It is curious why A has a demon-like aura, possibly even stronger than the one-finned demon. My guy got no clue what this is talking about. Suddenly, Aang's body starts to glow red, and he snaps the ropes around him. He rushes at the demon, but the demon dodges. He thinks that in his past life, he would have taken off the demon's head before it even had a chance to move. He knows he needs to save the others. He notices the one-finned demon has a red core that boosts its speed and flexibility, letting it move and strike faster. However, that also leaves its joints unprotected by thick skin, which is both an advantage and a weakness. The demon raises its hand at Aang and says it is pointless to resist. The demon slams its hands into Aang, and he instantly realizes he needs to target its joints, since that is the demon's weak spot. He pushes hard, refusing to be seen as weak. He shouts that he has killed many one-finned demons in the past. In response, the demon delivers a fierce kick that sends the poor guy reeling and leaves him bleeding. Being the wooden-type demon this thing is, it can regenerate itself, and this bastard is very proud of his abilities. Always thought only green core demons had that power, and he wonders if demons have changed over the last 50 years. The demon accuses him of underestimating it, then sends out roots that pierce through our boy's body and pull him in. Grabbing A by the head, the demon says it still does not understand who he is. Aang can feel the roots stabbing into his organs, making it almost impossible to breathe. He has only just been reborn, yet here he is, on the brink of dying again. Worrying for the other three, he feels the same despair as before, and fears everyone might die with him. Aang is filled with regret and sorrow, cursing his own weakness for dragging them into this. Noticing Aang's weakened state, the one-finned demon decides to eat him to evolve. Just as it moves in, a voice inside our boy questions whether the demon really plans to devour him. This inner demon complains that if Aang dies, its own plan will fail, and it is annoyed it has to spend its last bit of energy. Now suddenly the one-finned demon senses a terrifying power coming from our boy. A demon form starts emerging, and the one-finned demon guesses it might be a 5F or 6-finned demon. However, the aura is far stronger, and shockwaves shoot up into the sky. An 8-finned demon bursts in, sending the one-finned demon into a panic. The newcomer newcomer announces itself as the strongest red core demon and the king of finned demons. Trembling, the one-finned demon calls it the Crimson Finned King. Meanwhile, Gyatong keeps searching and fights any demon he comes across. After a while, he stops and notes that he has checked everywhere nearby, but only saw 2 no-finned demons. He thinks the 4 candidates are not here, and vows to keep looking until he finds them before sunset. He then senses a huge burst of energy in the distance, and wonders what it is, guessing it might have something to do with the missing candidates. At the same time, Ung says he is surprised to appear in such a dark place with no sunlight. He demands that the final demon tell him if he really vanished, and if the other 5 still rule as King Finn. The final demon says nothing has changed since before. Ung replies that it looks like demons have been living in a calm way. He remembers what happened 60 years ago and becomes angry, asking if they have forgotten what they did to him. He attacks the final demon, upset that even though he chose the body of the strongest warrior to host his spirit, it has turned weak after traveling through time. He feels let down that he is wasting the last part of his power on something so small. If he wants to show himself again, he needs to wait until he is fully awake. The strongest warrior must slowly regain all his memories. The final demon explains that the Finn memory Ung talks about is linked to their growth, points out that the bumps on their knees and how many fins they have show what level they are. When they grow more fins, they need Finn memory, something only their kind has. That is why they are always stronger than other races, and the warrior body A is using now is also the same as theirs. However, they can only level up by devouring demons of the same rank. Ung, on the other hand, must consume demons of a higher rank than himself to unlock the hidden memories and evolve. The once cocky bastard now has been rendered a whiny mess who promises to help the 8-finned demon and do everything for him. The 8-finned demon ends up killing the bastard since he is not worthy, and the only purpose he can currently serve is to act like fodder and help Aang awaken his Finn memories. This acts as the first step in Aang's quest to get stronger. This edgelord wants our boy to slowly reach the 8 fins. When that happens, the 8-finned demon will wake up from his deep sleep. Afterwards, the bastard goes back inside our boy, while Aang himself is stuck somewhere in the brutal memories of the past when he and his fellow were badly hurt. His fellow wished their Majesty Aang lived, because that particular female is waiting for him. When the dream suddenly starts to turn into a nightmare, he opens his eyes in the present and wonders if he was dreaming. He realizes these are memories from long ago and feels very scared. Just then, his friends walk in happy that he is awake, and he is surprised to see them. Suju notices our boy's hair looks different and asks if it was caused by the demonic door. Aang feels confused since he has no clue what she is saying. He then checks if they are all okay, remembering they were pulled underground by the final demon. Jiang and the other 2 commanders enter and want our boy to share what happened down there. Aang asks the reason why all the seniors decided to visit him. Tata Yoshio informs him that our brute commander brought them back. She calls him Tang Tang once again, which is just straight up embarrassing. Joel further explains that our brute commander found all 4 of them passed out in a cave. Luckily, the one-finned demon was nowhere to be found, otherwise carrying them all back would have been hard. Tata Yoshio says that after some time, the other 3 woke up, but could not remember anything about what happened in the cave. Aang was the only one who stayed unconscious, and his body went through some changes. She gives him a mirror so he can see his changed hair, and then asks if he remembers anything from underground. Aang stares at his new look and wonders what went on. He still cannot understand everything that happened after he traveled through time. He recalls blacking out when he got hit in the cave, but does not know anything beyond that. He thinks about whether he should tell them about his time travel, but decides not to. He figures nobody would believe him anyway, and they might think he is crazy, so he plans to keep using his current identity and focus on finding out what is really going on. Aang then confesses that he did wake up for a moment and saw they were in an underground cave, but then he fainted again. This gets Jutong wondering about the blood splatters he saw there and who caused them. Joel looks at our boy and recalls that the name Aang is the same as the mightiest warrior. Though our boy's fighting is good, he is still lacking in some ways. He then asks if Aang has ever fought demons before. Our boy says no and explains that he is interested in demon combat and has studied it, but he never had real battle experience. Since Aang is well informed in this subject, the senior woman suggests our brute commander not to give up on training him properly. Moving on, Aang asks what happened with his warrior test. Su says they passed and are now on the stilt team. Lan adds that due to recent events, Yitong formed them into a group of 4. Liu also chimes in, mentioning that they are behind compared to everyone else. Jiang explains they need to do missions to earn points, and because Aang was out cold for 3 days, they have no points so far. Aang is shocked he has been unconscious for that long. The next day, the 4 of them stand in the town in their new uniforms. People talk about the new warriors who came in 3 days ago. Toshio. Gyotong shows up, congratulates them for becoming official warriors, and praises them for surviving a run-in with a one-finned demon. He says he will be leading their squad, which is one of 9 under his command, and hopes they can do well against the other squads. Ung thinks the rules are tougher than before. Lan asks if Ung really never heard of the squad ranking system. It seems like Ung is a newcomer and does not know much, and right now they are at the bottom of the list. Jiang explains how the leaderboard works, and adds that squads at the bottom get monthly punishments like cleaning duty until the next rankings are out. Hung realizes that might explain why the town is so tidy. Jiang names Lu as the group leader, and no one seems to have any objections except our boy. He does not voice his desire to become the group leader, and lets Lu be happy about his new job. Jiang then instructs them to pick missions from the board and get used to using their nano wings in fights. He says they can talk to him if they run into any problems. When Zhang leaves, Lu suggests they look at the missions, because they have a lot of catching up to do, but the photographer girl says there is something more important first. They need a group photo, so they quickly take one. Later, Gyotang asks his fellow seniors what they think about everything. Tata Yoshioku says that just like our brute commander had noticed there were no finned demons left in the cave, they all seem to die from some kind of explosion leaving blood everywhere. This is why our brute commander suspects the 4 candidates did it, and admits that he feels uneasy about A, and notices something familiar about his smell. Toshio tells him not to worry too much, and says she is just glad the 4 came back safely. She also wants him to train them well so they do not lose to her team. Jiang is really serious about suspecting A, so Joel suggests they keep an eye on the kid. Meanwhile, at the mission board, A is happy to see all the missions are at the A level, each worth 10 points. Lan says A level missions are the top tier, while Suju adds they might also be the hardest ones. The guy further explains that B-level missions give 6 points, and C-level missions give 3. These lower-level missions are simpler and safer, but A-level jobs are known for being deadly, and people often lose their lives. Lu looks at the 3 missions listed, and along with A, she suggests taking them all. Once their quest begins, the 4 of them start running, and A activates his core. His nano wings appear, but one wing catches on a rock. Focusing on the energy from the nano wings, he manages to form a sword in his hand. He thinks about how much Nanok has advanced in the last 60 years. They hide behind a rock. Liu says they are ready and explains their goal: 2 no-finned demons, both to be taken down at the same time. She reminds them to stick to the plan and wait for her signal. When the signal comes, they rush in. Liu points out that they have 3 A-level missions, so they cannot waste time. The fight must end quickly. Lan moves in first to disrupt the demons' view, keeping them from spotting the others. Lei repeats the plan. Xiang and Suju will stop the demons from moving. After they attack, Aang wonders how the demons will fight with a cut joint. Meanwhile, the brood in the group punches both demons into the air, and Liu follows with a swift finishing move. The timing feels perfect. Suju notices the fog is gone, and the insertion is steady. Lan is glad that they managed to clear the fog. Dispersing fog here is much harder than in the exams, but that is expected from an A-level mission. Even one mission has taken them a while. The photographer girl finds a red core from the demons and smiles. The tsundere girl is also glad that they finally got the full 10 points. Ung, on the other hand, is surprised to learn that the cores break when a mission is completed. Suju then explains that the tech is made for demon combat, and a chip in the mission form automatically sends points to the town leaderboard once the job is done. After clearing the fog outside town, she asks Aang if she can check the other 2 cores. She looks them over in size. Afterwards, they spent the whole afternoon fighting no-finned demons, but only got 3 cores. They still need 7 more. Catching demons alive is much harder. Lan notes how they have had it easy until now. Liu then suggests the next step, which is to finish the other missions and keep taking A-level ones so they can rise to the top. Suju takes a picture of Liu, because why the not? Lan, meanwhile, is hoping to take the first position so the other squads will not think they are weak. Ung also suggests the same, and since the other squads are also earning points, they need to move fast to stay ahead. The ones who act first succeed, and those who hesitate get nothing. Even though he is over 50 years old and has lived 2 lives, he feels energized around them. Their drive makes him feel young again. He suggests one more mission before sunset, and Suju and Lan agree. Liu notices Aang is starting to take charge. Lan has already taken down a few more demons and says they got 3 more. Liu reminds him they are almost out of tranquilizers for no-finned demons, and each squad has a limited supply. As Liu checks her gun, Aang takes a closer look. She explains it is a nanotech tranquilizer gun designed to capture demons alive. Aang recalls that in the past, catching demons meant knocking them out by force, and researchers always complained about brain damage. Lan says they are lucky to have caught these ones, especially since they used up all their tranquilizers. They ended the mission after defeating a whole group to capture 3 alive, more than 10 demons in total. Sui stretches and reminds them that warriors must be back before sunset or face punishment, recommending that they head back. Hung wonders if he even has a place to return to in this era. Lu says she needs to hurry home too. All that is left is to set the GPS so researchers can find the spot. Once they collect the demons, the mission will be complete. Just then, Aang asks if anyone else feels the strong killing intent. In that instance, red beams shoot out from behind, hitting the demons and killing them instantly. A masked boy steps out and says he will not let them finish their mission. He claims his squad is supposed to handle all A-level missions and demands to know who allowed Lu's squad to take them. Wonders who these new people are. They look like bad news, and the leader of the guild reveals that they belong to the Black Gun Squad seniors in their group. He asks a girl on his team how many squads joined this mission, and she responds that there are 3. The leader scolds Aang and his team for not greeting their seniors. The 4 members of the Black Gun Squad land nearby and accuse Lu's team of taking A-level missions without their permission. They think Lu's group is disrespecting them. Of course, the Artundre lady is angry that they killed the demons she and her friends worked so hard to capture. A boy from the Black Gun Squad asks who leads Lu's group and why that person did not come to say hello. Lu, on the other hand, charges in to kick him, but he dodges and asks how she dares attack her seniors. In response, Lu expresses her disdain for these so-called seniors. Lan and Suju step in, hoping to calm them down. The photographer lady raises the concern that the Black Gun Squad is being unreasonable and wants to know how they can just kill the demons her team caught. The boy shrugs, saying this is part of the competition and calling them naive. This only serves to fuel Lu's anger. Her teammates try to hold her back, and they also ask Aang to step in and settle this peacefully instead. But my guy runs forward, kicks the smug boy to the ground, and knocks off his mask. He has never heard anything so shameless before, and asks if they know how hard it was to capture those demons. His both friends are shocked, but Liu, as expected, seems pleased. The boy, now unmasked, tells Aang to get ready for a fight. Liu also wants to fight. Just then Gyotang appears and stops the both parties, pushing them apart. The commander is looking annoyed, reminding them that the sun is setting and warns them not to stir up more demons. But that scumbag boy says his team is the victim who got attacked by our boy. But our photographer girl was ready for this moment and showed photos of the Black Gun Squad killing the demons that Liu's team had captured. Lan asks when Suju took these pictures. Jiang reminds our team that they should not have taken the A-rank mission. In defense, Liu reports that they were about to finish it until the Black Gun Squad got in the way, while the commander brushes off the entire ordeal, admitting that the Black Gun Squad had similar run-ins when they were new too. So he is not going to do anything about this situation. It is up to each squad to deal with these problems. All that matters is earning points at Katada. Direct harm or risking other warriors is not allowed, but everything else, like messing up someone else's mission, can happen. He reminds them that these rules are the same for everyone, and they will see worse things in the future. He only stepped in because it was almost dark, so he told them to head back to town. He calls out the Black Gun Squad because it is embarrassing that they were getting bested by a rookie team. As the boy leaves, he asks for Aang's name, and our boy generously gives it, and the boy, looking unsettled, turns to his teammates, recalling how A's name matches the mightiest warrior. He vows not to let our boy and his squad gain easy points. He also wants A to pay for the cut on his face and the humiliation. Then he puts his mask back on and leads his squad away. Jiang notes the Black Gun Squad is not the top squad, but they act fast and might try to mess up Lu's group again. Their leader also uses a gun, and though the boy did not show it, Gyotang admits the boy is strong for a newcomer. A real fight might go either way. He then orders our team to return to town. Lu looks at our boy and asks why he was so reckless. She also thanks him for his kick. Lan invites his friend to his place for dinner, but Aang turns him down. This makes the musclehead wonder if our boy has some secret plan. Well, Aang admits that he does planning to go after 3 more demons today. Later at night, the speakers go off warning everyone not to leave the tower for their own safety. Aang stands off to the side, thinking that he has only heard the announcement and has not seen anyone walking around. He figures that with the town locked down, there is not much to do, so he plans to check out his home once he is done with his secret mission. He notices that security at the main gate is loose. There is only one guard, so he guesses they might be short on people or not expecting anyone to leave at night. There is a gap in the gate wide enough for him to slip through, so he gets ready to head out. Right then, Lu shows up. She already knew that he would do this. She seems excited and reminds him that she caught on when he hinted earlier that he would go out at night. For once, her sharp perception and attention to detail really makes our boy worry. She then asks why he is leaving so late and if he has somewhere special to go. He jokes that he just ate too much and wants to walk it off. Then he admits he hopes to surprise everyone in the morning and make up for how the masked boy ruined their efforts earlier. Now that she has found him, his plan might be in trouble. As they go through the town, Liu catches up and asks about his plan. She can hardly wait to see the masked boy's confused face tomorrow.